Do all religions worship the same God? Whether we agree with it or not, many of us have heard the idea that all religions are fundamentally the same. That although they may have some different beliefs and different practices, they all teach the same basic truths and ultimately lead to the same outcome. And I think this idea can come from a good place and reflect a desire to validate everyone's beliefs and choices. But however appealing that idea is, I don't think it's consistent with what religions actually claim. So while religions may have some things in common, they also make fundamentally different claims about who God is and whether or not God even exists. And some of those claims directly contradict one another. There's a principle of logic called the law of non-contradiction. So a contradiction is when two claims conflict with each other in such a way that if one is true, then the other one must be false. For example, if I say Chris is hungry and Chris is tired, those claims don't conflict with each other. They can both be true at the exact same time. But if I say Chris is awake and Chris is asleep, those claims do conflict with each other. If one is true, then the other must be false. And in the same way, religions make claims that conflict with each other, which means that they cannot all be true. They could all be false, or one could be true and the other's false, but they cannot all be true at the same time. This brings us back to the question, do all religions worship the same God? Because if different religions are making contradictory claims about who God is, what God is like, whether or not God even exists, then they cannot all be describing the same God, and they can't all be true. Christianity, for example, teaches that there is a personal, relational God, while Buddhism teaches a view of reality that does not include a personal or relational God. Or Christianity teaches that there is one God, while many forms of Hinduism teach that there are many gods. Christianity teaches that Jesus died by crucifixion and then came back to life 3 days later, where Islam teaches that Jesus wasn't crucified at all. Christianity teaches that Jesus was God, and Judaism claims that he was not. And we can go on, but the point is that all religions are not describing God in the same way, if at all, and in many cases they are making fundamentally different and sometimes contradictory claims about God. Of course, this does not mean that there's no agreement or commonalities between religions, or that if a religion is false in one way, that it's false in every way. It just means that at the fundamental level, we are not all worshiping the same God, and all religions cannot be true. And this applies not just to religions, but to broader worldviews as well. Theism and atheism, for example, they can't both be true. Either God exists or he doesn't. And the good news, I think, is that we're not left totally in the dark. If we want to investigate which worldview is true or more likely, we can compare the different claims that worldviews are making, and then we can ask which worldview is internally consistent and aligns with the available evidence and best explains the world that we see and experience every day. Many of you know that I did not grow up in the church. The reason I'm a Christian today is not because I think it is particularly cool or convenient, but rather because I believe the claims about reality that it makes are more aligned with the available evidence that we see and the human experience than the claims that any alternative religion or worldview makes. I believe that God's existence is truly the best explanation for why there is something rather than nothing, for how improbable it is that life could have arisen through natural processes alone, and for why we believe some actions are objectively right or wrong. And I also believe that Christianity's claims are the best explanation of the historical evidence available to us surrounding Jesus' life and death and resurrection. The evidence suggests that Jesus really did live, that he really did claim to be God, that he really did die by crucifixion, and that many people became convinced that they had seen him alive after his death, so convinced, in fact, that they were then willing to suffer and die themselves for that belief. My encouragement to you is this. It is worth taking the time to explore the claims of different religions, different worldviews. So compare the major claims that these worldviews are making, examine the evidence that's available to you, and then see for yourself which view you think best fits with the evidence and your own experience. And as much as you can, try your best to keep an open mind. If you're interested in exploring these topics right now, you're of course very welcome to check out the other videos on my channel where I cover some of the specific claims I just mentioned and the pieces of evidence in more detail, one video at a time. Or in the comments, I would love to know where you land. Do you think all religions worship the same God? Why or why not? You're also very welcome to ask a question in the comments if you'd like me to cover a different topic in a future video. And if you want to see when I post new content, be sure to click the subscribe button just below this video, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.